Good morning, I'm Jeanette McGarrah here, and I'm with Simply Social Stories, and we are here today at UPMC in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and we are here telling a very special, amazing story. We have here Mr. George Lebecki, and we have Mrs. Lindsay Wenrick, and we're telling a very special story today about a kidney transplant. And first question for you, Lindsay, is tell us how you became aware of George's need for a kidney.
One of my former teachers and also a close family friend, Kathy Young, shared his Facebook post back in April of this year, and I responded to it. I felt compelled to help at that time, and I wanted to get tested to see if I was a match for him.
Okay. And was there at any point where you hesitated or you just kind of ran right towards that goal?
I did, yeah. Even when I received the news, they told me to sleep on it for the weekend, and I really only needed to wait a couple hours until I knew this is what I wanted to do.
So when you did that, how long did it take to come back that you were a match?
It was about May through September. There's a lot of different testing that goes on, and they need to make sure you're in absolutely perfect health in order to be a donor.
Awesome. So you find out, you get a call? Is that how you find out?
I got a call from my transplant coordinator.
And they said you're a match?
She did, yes.
And your first thoughts were?
I was speechless. At first I was speechless. The adrenaline was pumping. It took a little while to process it, but overall I was very happy.
So that was September when you found out that you were a match?
The end of September, yes.
So then what's the process from there, the time frame between you finding out that you are a match and notifying George here that he was going to get a kidney?
Well, my former teacher, Kathy, I told her first because George and I haven't spoken to him since high school, and I'm not even sure that I spoke to him in high school because I didn't have him as a teacher. So she was the first one I reached out to because she's a former colleague of his, and she said, hey, he's a really big Penn State fan. Why don't we try to get the Nittany Lion costume to tell him? So we reached out to Penn State Harrisburg, and that took about a week and a half to pull it all together. And so it was the next Sunday. Heard on a Thursday, it was the next Sunday that we told him.
So, and what was that process like? You showed up at his home?
I did.
Okay.
And I rang his...
So did Kathy find out where he lived? How did that all happen?
I think she knew. She talked to his wife. His wife knew. So his wife had to keep it quiet for, 4 or 5 days, which I'm sure was really hard.
Killed her.
Yeah, I walked up, I rang the doorbell. Your dog was barking ferociously because there was a big lion walking up the driveway.
And so you're in this lion costume. Yes, I was in the costume.
Yes.
Okay.
And I rang the doorbell, and I think Leanne answered.
She answered.
But you were standing there, and obviously you knew something was not normal for a Sunday. And then I held up my cue cards that said, we're happy to tell you that we are a match, and I'm giving you my kidney.
And your reaction was?
Gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. I had a feeling things were going to happen, but in what time frame they would happen, I had no idea. Who it was going to be, I had no idea. It's just that it's another Sunday afternoon. I'm watching the Steelers, and the door opens, and the Nittany Lion's standing there, and it's like, this is not normal.
Why? Yeah. Why is the Nittany Lion? Why did you think the Nittany Lion?
And you have to process all this.
Yeah.
And you start thinking, is this something to do with my kidney? And you don't want to go there in just in case it's not. Because we're getting close to Halloween. Is this like some crazy trick-or-treat prank or something? No. And then she started holding up the cards, and then I just totally overwhelmed. Totally, I keep saying I felt very small, but in a good way. Because what happens is you build all these walls around you. You're not going to let this disease become you. It takes a hold of your life, and you fight it all the time. It's not going to be what you're about. It's not going to. You are going to be yourself. It's just something that you have, and at that moment, you could feel the walls coming tumbling down, and it was just me, and I felt very small, but not in a very bad way at all. I felt very accepted, and with the absolute gift, the power of what she was doing was overwhelming. You were speechless, absolutely speechless for a moment. Overwhelmed.
So your first words when you finally,
I think I said,
You said this is freaking cool.
This is freaking cool. Okay.
And then I think I said, you have a lot of courage.
You did, and then you asked me why.
And then, why did you do this?
Yeah.
I mean, this is unbelievable. Why? And I don't know. I know you very well now. I know you well for the rest of my life. But why did you do this? And it's pretty stunning. Pretty stunning.
And, what we've talked about is that you saw this post on Facebook, you had this mutual connection, and you just thought, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to help, and I it hit close to home because it was someone who had a tie to Cedar Cliff, and even if you don't, you're a graduate, so I'm sure you understand, even if you don't know everyone, if you hear something about a Cedar Cliff graduate or a teacher, it hits close to home.
Beautiful community we have here in the Cedar Cliff alumni area here. So the next steps are, I guess, your surgery, right?
Well, we have pre-op testing one more day tomorrow. They match us one more time to make sure that everything is good, and then surgery is next Friday, the 26th.
So what are the chances when you go and kind of say, hey, is it me? What are the chances that you would be a donor? What do those chances look like that you're an exact match like this?
I'm honestly not sure.
Is this like 1 in 100,000?
I have no idea.
Very
hard?
slim. It's very hard to be. It's very hard to be accepted as a donor because first off, you have to be very healthy. The one thing that I've been most impressed with as a recipient is that no one's going to be put at any risk to donate to me. Whoever I'm going to get a kidney from, and it is a healthy person, and they're going to have a long, healthy, natural life after they donate to me. My wife tried to be a donor, and she couldn't pass the mustard. I've had, I'm a teacher. I had a lot of people step up and try and be donors, and a lot of them just fell by the wayside because they simply couldn't pass snuff on that. You have to be an extremely healthy person, and that narrows your chances. And that made me certain that we have someone who's going to give me a kidney that's going to be not only giving me something that's good for me, something that's going to be okay for her in the future too.
Yeah, this is definitely an amazing story. So next Friday is the surgery, and what is recovery going to look like for both of you?
For me, I think they told me I'd spend about 3 days in the hospital, and then between 2 and 4 weeks off work, depending on how I'm feeling. I think the most common complaint of donors is fatigue after the surgery. Your body's adjusting to having only one kidney. And it takes, I think, 68 weeks for your function to sort of level out, but I think it just makes you really tired. But my work has been really supportive and even offered for me to come back just half days in the beginning if I need to.
That's awesome. And George, what will your recovery look like?
As I understand it, what's going to happen to me is that my first day or so, I'll be bombed with prednisone, so I'll feel really very good. And my kidney,
Very
my new
strong.
kidney, very strong.
Lift up the world.
My new kidney is going to start functioning right away, so I'll feel better right away that way. First 6 weeks are pretty critical as far as me maintaining what I have to do, get my blood work done, make sure my levels are all right. I won't be able to drive for that period of time. And I'm told that after about 8 weeks, which will put me around mid-December, I'll feel better than I've felt in years. So
Wow.
that's pretty tremendous.
So for our audience that's watching, that we may have some mini Lindsay heroes out here watching, if they want to help you too in the recovery process, what can the audience do? Can they bring food? Can they, George, do you need rides? What could the community do to support both of you right now?
For me, the community is very supportive. I will have people there to help me out. For you,
I think I feel the same. Just maybe reach out, ask how we're doing, because after all this is over, I'm sure there'll be a lull, and we'll still be, going through it when we're recovering. So yeah, just reach out and ask how we're doing.
And for those that are watching that might be inspired by this story, Lindsay, can you tell our followers how they could go through the same process like you did of, maybe seeing if you're a match for someone?
Sure. I started by calling UPMC Pinnacle Transplant Office, which is where we are right now, and they'll walk you through the steps. They start with a little questionnaire to see if you're passing muster, and then they'll continue with the more invasive tests. Or if you're not local to the area, you can visit the National Kidney Donor Registry's website, and they can direct you to a hospital that's local to you.
Okay. So I want to thank both of you for being on today,
Thank you.
and thank you for being a hero. And good luck with both of your surgeries next week. And we'll follow up and we'll check in. We'll let our followers know how everyone's doing within the next few weeks. Thank you so much for following Simply Social Stories, and have a wonderful day.